And my colleague will now pull up the first of the AI featured dashboards, the incident risk and prediction dashboard. And as he's pulling this up, this dashboard is built to leverage, like I said, the AI driven machine learning, analyzes multidimensional crime data. This dashboard uncovers emerging trends, forecasts potential risk, and supports data driven decision making to enhance public safety. It can assist agencies to allocate resources effectively, respond proactively to emerging patterns, and once again, create a safer community. And just a reminder, as we go through these demonstrations, please feel free to add your questions throughout to the chat in the QA section, and we'll address them at the end. Now I'll pass it to Tim to explain more. Tim.
Thanks so much, Dominic, and special thanks again to everyone for joining us today. I'm going to be walking us through a powerful tool that was built to help law enforcement agencies leverage their data better and inform decision making. I want to give a brief overview of the dashboard, and then I'm going to come back around with a practical use case. So no worries if you don't catch everything on the first go around here. So let's start with the very first section here. This is something that you may be familiar with. This is the descriptive analytics, this section of the dashboard. It provides a detailed breakdown of crime data from NIBRs, allowing you to slice and dice and analyze historical trends by location, time, and offense type. Uh, Stuff you might be familiar with. The next section here is our predictive analytics portion of the dashboard. This is where the AI is able to leverage the historical data, specifically the NIBRS incidence data in this example, and generate predictions based on the model will tell us what types of crimes will happen and where they will happen. So let me move down here. The next section here is the mitigation strategy portion of the dashboard. Here we can test out our different resource deployment strategies using Qlik's AI machine learning tool to help maximize our law enforcement resources. Finally, here we have a line level raw table of all of incidents that have occurred to date. Okay, well, with that being said, I want to show you how Qlik's AI tool, AutoML, enables proactive crime prevention and ensures efficient resource deployment to maximize impact. So let me take you through a practical example. Let's say I'm an analyst and I wanted to tackle assault across the state. And furthermore, I want to allocate resources efficiently. So what I could do is start by filtering on assault offenses. And the dashboard will respond in kind here. We can see we have 483 offenders this month. That's representing a change of 69 from the previous month. So this gives us a little bit of a picture of what's going on temporally this month and, back a little bit. But let's say we really want to dive into what's going to happen next week. Okay. So what do we do now? We can scroll down, look at the predictive portion of the dashboard. And let me make sure I just center in on this map here. What the AI is going to do now is it's actually going to inform us the hotspots of crime, and it's actually going to let us know what types of crime are predicted to rise in any given county across the state. So I can see up here at the top, just broad level without any filtering or selections, it's going to say it's going to give us the highest risk county just overall for predicted increase in criminal incidents. Also, across the entire state, it's going to tell us what are the types of crimes, or in this case, what's the highest risk of offense here, and that's going to be larceny and theft. But what about if we just want to focus on assaults? So what we could do here is filter it by assault. Okay, so now the AI is going to take into consideration, with all the same algorithms and all the same insight, let's focus, pinpoint this on assaults, and let's look at it this way. So we can see the map has changed. We can see if we hover over on the right-hand side here, Laramie County has the highest risk of assaults in the next week, predicted by the machine learning. So I can go ahead and back out of that now that I know where my area of interest is. Let's go ahead and select that county. Okay, great. On the left-hand side here, as you might have noticed, there's two colors. In the light blue, this represents incidents this week. In the green, that's going to represent our predicted change by the AI for this county. So it's as specific as you need it to be here. If we want, we can take a peek beneath the hood. Again, this is not necessarily useful for everyday use, but it's good to know it's there. Qlik's AutoML has a high degree of transparency. It's going to let you know what factors and variables went into any specific prediction that it made. So it's always transparent and very forthright in that regard. All right, so we can see here that we have X amount of assaults in Laramie County this week. Next week, based on all the factors that went into this, and again, it's going to be looking through the historic data. It's going to be looking at seasonality in this example. It's going to be looking at the unemployment rate. And you can take it steps further and further with things like weather or social events in the area. It's going to look at all these things and it's going to produce a prediction. Okay, so great. We know what we know what the data says, and we know what the AI is telling us. How do we take it one step further and actually mitigate these risks? Well, this next section is built to incorporate, again, that AI insight from Qlik's AutoML and allow us to simulate resource allocation. And there's many ways to do this. It could be community outreach. It could be education. In this example, we chose a fairly common example, which is deployment of specialized task force. So on the right-hand side, again, we have two bars here. This time in the light blue, this is a representation of the predicted threat level. And in the green, this is our current mitigation as deployed by the agency. So we are interested in assaults because that had the largest uptick. And as we can see here in assault offenses, we have a larger threat level than our current mitigation. Now I can look up at the top left-hand side here. We can see our narcotics units, crisis units, etc. These units are in reserve. So this is our representation of our total available resources. What I would like to do now as the analyst is make sure that I'm deploying adequate crisis response units here. Okay, now I see that I have this covered. And what's really beautiful about this is it's actually using the AI prediction models, and it's re-entering that with the mitigation strategies, and it's going to produce an outcome that will let you know in this simulated environment exactly where you need to deploy resources for maximum impact. And so just to recap, these AI-driven forecasting tools, they're going to empower agencies in fighting crime. They're going to highlight what types of crime specifically and where they're going to happen. And furthermore, these simulated deployments are going to enable resource optimization and ensure personnel and units are placed where they will have the greatest impact for the agency.
Thanks, Tim, for showing that. But before we move to the next dashboard, I want to share a question that came through from the audience. And so I currently use a case management solution that has built-in dashboards. How is this tool different? Tim, can you take that one?
Yeah, great question. So instead of just showing what's happening, a dashboard that leverages Qlik's AI AutoML tool is going to be able to forecast trends, identify high-risk cases, and help optimize response strategies. Furthermore, you're not going to be limited to a simple data set or a simple tool. Qlik is really built to incorporate multiple data streams and give you an output that has an integration and really draws on all of the data. Furthermore, this is highly customizable. So instead of static reports or kind of canned dashboards, you can really get into the nitty-gritty and into the details of this and produce something that is really bespoke and custom to your needs as an organization.